Oviedo Sports Palace as we start the semifinal round of this 10th World Basketball Championships. First game of the evening, United States against Argentina. The game that was, actually they played once before, about 2 weeks ago, Bobby, and the U.S. team won by 15 in an exhibition game in Lyon.
And I think they felt that the Argentinians were not nearly as physical in that game, Rick, as they can be.
The shot coming from the outside by Derek McKee starts off things here.
I think they're going to have to put pressure defense, although the USA team is starting out in a zone, to make the Argentines shoot from the outside because they're a notoriously poor shooting team.
Shooting 47% for the tournament. Starting lineup is Amaker, along with Kenny Smith, and the shot coming from the outside by Cortijo, the key player for this Argentinian ball club, as he ties it at 2.
As soon as I said they couldn't shoot, Rick.
Well, that's usually the kiss of death, Bill.
Well, they're only shooting about 25% on three-point shots for the 5 games in the tournament.
McKee with the ball. That's Kenny Smith out of the University of North Carolina. Inside to David Robinson from Navy. Rebound pulled off by Montenegro. Traveling call against the Argentinians will set the rest of the lineup for the United States. Charles Smith, who has been playing exceptionally well, is one of the other forwards. Of course, he with McKee and Robinson in the front line. You've got Smith, Kenny, and Amaker in the backcourt. As we start this semifinal round of action here from Oviedo Sports Palace, happy to have Bobby Knight from Indiana University, along with Bill Russell, working with me as the United States trying to remain undefeated. They came out undefeated 5-0 in their group, moving on to the semifinal round. Argentina with the move inside, blocked by Robinson.
And kept it in play, which is a real bonus.
Kenny Smith, who has been shooting exceptionally well, pops one from 18 feet. United States now leading 4-3.
Not very many shot blockers have ever been able to do that. You're one of them.
You're talking about me, Bobby? 3-point try. And the rebound and another block by David Robinson.
You know, that's a good play, whether they call it goaltending or not. Because the next kind of guy's in there that makes them think.
He's got to go after every shot he can get a hand on.
Charles Smith with the ball, kicks it around to Amaker. The United States a much quicker team than the Argentinian team. They go inside to Robertson. Away with the rebound come the Argentinians. A long lead pass to Romano. Romano with a good spin move against Smith. Kenny Smith will be called for the personal foul. Good quickness on that break.
The Argentines are trying to run an up-tempo game because that's the only way they're going to be able to get inside before the defense gets a chance to set up if they're going to play a zone defense.
And there's that good 360 spin move on the part of Romano. Carlos Romano for the Argentinian team. 17:29 left to play here in the first half.
Romano's been a streak shooter for them, and he's come off the bench and shot well at times during these first 5 games that they've played, so we might see a little bit of that with them going to him for the shot.
A 7-3 lead.
Bobby, the U.S. team has started out in the zone. I would think that they would go after these guys in pressure man-to-man.
It surprises me a little bit, Bill, that they are in the zone, unless it's because they felt that their shooting was so suspect from the outside that they wanted to go at him from that standpoint.
Charles Smith with a strong move inside. He'll get to go to the free throw line as the foul is going to be called against Montenegro. We'll watch the move again. Looked like a pretty good block from behind, actually, on that play, Bill.
Well, maybe they can get a couple of breaks today. Maybe.
The Argentinians with their pastel-colored numbers on the white jerseys. Very difficult to pick up the numbers out there. And you see the glare coming off there on the other side of the court. We have windows on the other side and some sun coming through. The United States trailing 7-6 against Argentina. First game here in semifinal action coming to you from Oviedo. Of course, other games taking progress right now down in Barcelona, where Mel Proctor and Mike Fratello are standing by. Romano can't find a way inside. Amaker with the steal. Here comes the break. 3 against 4. Argentinians back very well defensively. To Charles Smith inside. Loses the handle.
He had strong position, and if he could have controlled it.
Amaker did a great job against Italy with help side defense, as he did on that last Argentinian possession, getting the break started.
That was his 16th steal of the tournament. A good pass inside. And the layup count for Maggi. Diego Maggi. Charles Smith again. Blocked. Nice play inside. Back come the Argentinians. McKee almost had the steal. Good ball movement. And Cortijo lays it in for Argentina. And they are off. Argentina has 11-6 lead right now. Argentina surprising the United States as Amaker misses another rebound. Back come the Argentinians. 3 against 2 from behind a steal to Tommy Amaker. Now the United States with a 3-on-1 opportunity. Smith to Robinson. He takes it home. Bobby, I would think that this up-tempo game that Argentina's playing with the United States, as we watched that last pass into David Robinson, would be conducive for Lute Olson's ball club. That's the type of game they would like to play.
I would think so too, Rick. I think that Argentina will have a tough time sustaining this for much beyond the 10-minute mark of the first half. I think the Americans are deeper. I think they're better at the things that are necessary for a running game, such as ball handling and filling the lanes.
15:50 left to play here in the first half. Argentina is leading the United States 11-8. Inside play won't drop. Another try, and the rebound comes out to Smith. Kenny Smith for the United States. McKee loses the handle. And over the back, committing the foul, is going to be Montenegro.
Argentina's played a little bit more aggressively at the defensive end of the court here in the first 5 minutes of the ball game than I'd really anticipated they would play.
But will they be able to do that over a period of time, or is this just a go out and play on emotion and play tough for a few minutes, and then as soon as you get tired, you get away from it?
I think that'll really be a key for them.
Drive to the basket by Sean Elliott, who has come into the ball game. Sean Elliott played for Lute Olson at Arizona. Cuts it to a 1-point deficit. Cortijo, the key player for this Argentinian team, with the move down the middle. 2-point shot. Only a 2-point shot by Romano. 13-10 now, Argentina.
Cortijo really looks for the pass first and the shot second every time he's got it.
Robinson from 15. He's not going to get it. Romano with the rebound. That's Cortijo with the ball. The long lead pass on the sideline. The shot does not drop for Maggi, or Maggi is actually the proper pronunciation, and back comes Amaker.
That's a good way to make them pay.
13-12, Argentina. 14-20 left to play, first half. Rick Barry along with Bill Russell and Bobby Knight from the Oviedo Sports Palace. First game of this semifinal action in the Men's World Basketball Championships, the 10th. Argentina with the drive in the middle is Montenegro. Rebound off to Elliott. Smith, 1-on-1 against Romano. Foul, and he will go to the free throw line.
Bill, I think it might really be possible for the United States here to get on top by 3 or 4 points and then really blow it out from there.
Got a timeout on the court. And the score, 13 for Argentina, 12 for the United States. 13:58 left to play here in the first half. We are coming to you from España, and the city that you see circled, Oviedo, is where we are telecasting from, the Oviedo Sports Palace. Of course, other action taking place in Barcelona. And coming up will be the United States against the Soviet Union for the gold medal in water polo. So another confrontation between the United States and the Soviets. That's what the Goodwill Games is all about, getting these two countries together to compete. And they're having some excellent competition in a lot of various sports. And right here we have the United States trailing Argentina 13-12 with 13:58 left to play. I'm along with Bobby Knight and Bill Russell.
Bobby, why would you think that if the U.S. gets a 2 or 3 point lead, they can blow it out?
Well, I think going back to what you said, Bill, about Argentina playing on emotion here to start with, and I think that's kept them in it. I think there's always a little phase in the first part of a ball game where teams can stay together, but I think that things will happen to them of a negative nature if they get down by a couple of points here.
And the United States has taken the lead. They lead 14-13, their first lead in the ball game. move at that time. The pass inside. The shot will not drop for Kamisasa. The block by Robinson, but the ball still drops in the basket for Kamisasa.
Look what I found.
Argentina back in the lead now by 1.
Bobby, you think that maybe if they don't get the lead very soon, that it will give Argentina incentive to hang in there for a much longer period?
I think Argentina could stay a little while, Bill, but just like that basket that was just scored at the other end of the floor, it came off a blocked shot, and that could have given the U.S. the lead.
Back come the Argentinians. Romano. The pass off to Kamisasa. Good play by McKee defensively. Robinson with the rebound almost throws it away, and he does eventually. That's Romano against Amaker. Kamisasa has it touched by Robinson. Gets it back and finishes it off.
Kamisasa is a real burly, strong player that probably does more for them around the court than any player they have.
He's the 18th leading scorer in this tournament, averaging over 16 points a game. McKee.
Nice shot. Took his time. Good release.
Cuts it to a 1-point deficit, 17-16, 12:35 to play, first half. From the outside, that's Romano. Two-pointer.
That's the double pick that they set with a two-post man coming down for Kamisasa, and we'll see that several times during the course of the game. That's the first time they've run it.
Elliott to Robinson. That's not where they would like to have him shooting from. The rebound taken away by Kenny Smith. Sean Elliott. Nice move to the basket. He'll go to the free throw line. Foul is going to be called against Maggi.
That's the hardest shot not to take. Oh, here's a replay of that last foul there, Rick. The shot that David Robinson shot is not a good shot, but it's the hardest shot not to take. It's one of the shots that takes discipline not to take it.
Well, they had no rebounding. He was out a little bit too far, really, for him to shoot the ball. I'd agree with you. I think they bring the ball back. They set it up. They're going to have something that approximates a three-point play opportunity.
Sean Elliott at the free throw line.
It took me years to learn not to take that shot. I knew I couldn't make it, but I wanted to take it anyway.
You had a couple guys that wouldn't give you the ball to shoot that shot, though, too.
A little backcourt trapping now on the part of the U.S. team. Kamisasa with the ball. That's Romano. Shot clock is at 15. 30-second shot clock here in international competition. Amaker all over Romano. Shot clock's at 10. Foul called against Amaker.
The United States just seems to be about a quarter of a step behind in its pressure right now. If they can just get into the lanes a little bit quicker than they are, I think they'll create some real defensive problems.
The Argentinian team hung tough with Yugoslavia for a half. 41-40 they trailed at the half. Yugoslavia, one of the stronger teams in the competition, but they seem not to be able to sustain like we've talked about. They fell apart in the second half, but right now they're hanging tough here in the first against the United States. And with the left hand, a good move by Kamisasa.
Well, he's one of the guys we talked about before the game that can cause problems for the American team, Rick. Kamisasa.
Getting ready to come into the game is going to be Steve Kerr. Now, he has a bruised thigh. You'll see the bandage on the right thigh. They didn't expect that he was going to play. He comes in with Tyrone Bogues and a Wake Forest. Kerr from the University of Arizona, and the crowd loves Bogues, but they got to get into a running game with him in, Bobby.
Well, I would think here, Rick, that they're really substituting just from the standpoint of rest more than anything else, and to get a little bit of play from a different set of guards rather than for specific purposes.
Maybe that quarter step, Bogues will be able to pick up on it and get all over his man and create some problems for the Argentinians. Inside, Charles Smith has it knocked away. The Argentinians come away from it. That's Cortijo to Romano. Three-point try, count it. Well, Bobby, we said this team didn't shoot well, but they don't think they know that tonight.
They really have drilled it in these first 10 minutes.
6-point lead, the biggest lead of the game right now for Argentina.
I think Argentina, Bill, has done a great job of inside post defense.
3-point, count it, Kerr.
Yeah, they've gotten a lot of their baskets inside, and it just almost just bulk rather than skill.
Well, and then at the defensive end, they seem like they've really gotten back in and helped out on our offensive post play better than most foreign teams do.
The traveling call back to the United States. That was Kerr's 7th three-pointer in the competition. He's 7 for 15 from that range. One of the better outside shooters, he and Kenny Smith. Ron Cycli is in the game now. That's Cycli, number 10, with the ball. Has it knocked away, and they say it is going to be a USA ball. So Robinson getting a rest. Lute Olson standing up in the center of your screen. Now he sits down along with Scott Thompson, his assistant from Arizona, along with Jerry Pym and Bobby Cremens, the other 2 assistants. Bogues to Cycli. Cycli will go to the free throw line. The foul going to be called against Montenegro.
That's the 6th personal foul against Argentina, and that could have a little bit of an effect on them as the game wears on.
Of course, when you reach 8, you get to the penalty in the international competition. Only 2 fouls against the United States team. We have just 1 second more than 10 minutes left to play. So some substitutions now coming into the ball game for head coach Flor Melendez-Montalvez. Number 10 has come into the game, Aisporua. Number 5, Hector Campana. Head coach of Argentina, Montalvez, was at one time head coach of Puerto Rico. I think he was down there when you won in the Pan Am Games, wasn't he, Bobby?
I think
one of your old buddies, huh?
I think he was.
Oh, did you have a good time or what, Bobby?
That was one of the all-time great experiences, Russ.
Well, I happened to be down there at the time, Bill. It was terrific. But we did win the gold, so
in fact, you and I talked the afternoon of the gold medal game.
This is true. It was a fine performance. 24-22. Argentina leading by 2 points. They have been in control most of the way. The U.S. did lead by 1 point, 14-13 at the 13:50 mark, and that's been their only lead. Great pass from Cortijo. Inside the foul against Bogues.
That was pretty sharp there, Bobby. That's as good a use of vision as I think I've seen since we've been over here, Rick. He had great perception as to where the cutter was going, and the pass was completely blind.
And just as you saw on that replay there, terrific angle from down low. The pass was just a little bit too far for the man to handle. But going to the free throw line is Maggi, number 6, Diego Maggi. He's 6'9", 22-year-old.
And he shoots like he's 6'9", Rick.
Well, 56% free throw percentage for the entire Argentinian team. They have a problem at that free throw line. Right now they lead by 3, 9:40 left to play. The United States not quite as sharp as they were in that final game when they played against Italy in the first preliminary round. That's Elliott, Sean Elliott, at the University of Arizona. He's going to be a sophomore. U.S. ball on the sideline. A very good effort so far on the part of Argentina. We apologize for that glare you may see coming off the court because of the sun coming in the windows up above.
Good job of picking good help in the middle.
That was Kamisasa with the steal.
That's the post defense we were talking about a moment ago.
The big guys cannot put the ball on the floor.
No, sir. But how many of them can keep from it?
I don't know very many, Bobby.
Cortijo with the ball. He gets it inside to Kamisasa, who gets knocked down. No foul. 3 against 2 now. Bogues. Smith had it, and he commits the foul. Campana was fouled by Charles Smith as Bogues could not complete the layup on the fast break.
That was not a good fast break.
Not at all. That's where I think Bogues has to stop with the basketball and then make the play from the foul line to somebody that can take it in with a lot of strength and wind up with a three-point opportunity.
Aisporua bringing it in, and full court pressure being put on by the Americans. Almost knocked off of the leg of Cortijo. Campana with the ball. That's Kamisasa. Cortijo, as the shot clock ticks down near the 10-second mark now. In the middle, the block by Cycli and the shot by Maggi. And it's out of bounds off of Argentina.
Good defensive play when you come up with the ball. I always consider the play half finished if you don't come up with the ball.
Well, as we were talking before the game, so many blockers are going to knock it out of bounds, and it's just white ball back again in that case. And when you get it, it's just a great defensive play.
That was an 8th block of the tournament for Cycli. Bogues almost throws it away. Fortunately, Kerr is there. Shot clock at 10. strong move. He'll go to the free throw line. The foul being called against Maggi, number 6.
It looks like the U.S. team offense is a little out of sync right now, Bobby.
I think part of it, Bill, as we see the foul being committed as the ball's taken to the bucket, is Argentina is playing a little bit of a combination with some matchup. As we flash up off the baseline, they're coming up with us, and they're playing the perimeter in the zone, and we don't have quite enough movement inside. And I think our inside people are a little bit hesitant to just grab it and take it right to the basket.
Charles Smith out of the University of Pittsburgh is averaging 16 points a game. That's 21st in the tournament overall. He's only shooting 69% from the free throw line. One of our leading rebounders. He's got 26 in the 5 games thus far. And he's been a very pleasant surprise for the U.S. team. He cuts it now to a 2-point deficit. 25-23, 7:45 left here in the first half. And what has been a very, I have to say, outstanding performance on the part of this Argentinian team.
You know, Rick, Campana, I think, has been a little bit of a key for Argentina because he's taken some of the ball handling pressure away from Cortillo and has handled the ball well against the U.S. pressure.
That's Campana who got it from Cortillo. The shot from the inside by Aizparua doesn't go. The rebound and the basket by Diego Maggi. Back to a 4-point lead for Argentina. The United States did lead by 1 point, 14-13. But they've trailed the majority of this first half.
Now they're in a man-to-man.
Charles Smith. Full court pressure. Bogues against Cortijo. Good back cut on the part of Campana. He can't finish it off. Smith with the rebound. Smith handles the ball very well for a big man, too, Bobby. I saw him take it on a break when they had some exhibition games all the way down the court, make a great move. Not that you want him to do that all the time, but it's nice to know that he can.
Well, he can do an awful lot of things out around the floor.
That's Cycli. Charles Smith, and he's fouled once again, will take another trip to that free throw line with a chance to tie the ball game.
As the game progresses, it looks like the U.S. team is getting a little better on the boards.
Well, you saw right there that Smith was able to sneak in. Nobody screened him off, and he had a clear shot at that offensive rebound.
Well, you know, Cycli didn't put the ball on the floor with that shot either. That, I think, is the first time he's gotten the ball inside where he went right up with it. But, Rick, your point about Smith, going back to that for just a moment, he may do as many things as well as any player that the United States has when you consider playing both on the perimeter and inside.
Certainly increased his value on the stock market of the NBA with his performance thus far in this competition. However, he's had a tough time at the free throw line in the last couple of minutes. Three-pointer, Kerr. That would have given the U.S. the lead, but they still trail by 2, 27-25, 6:10 remaining here in the first half. You see Bogues with the pressure on Cortijo, and comes away with a clean steal, and we're tied at 27. The big crowd favorite here in Spain has been Tyrone Bogues out of Wake Forest. Smallest man in the competition at 5'4". That's Cortijo. Kamisasa. And the foul is going to be called against McKee, who was in the ball game, against Kamisasa. That will be only the 15th foul against the United States. It will be Argentina's ball on the sideline as Robinson re-enters. Here's the defense again.
Now, when a guy makes a defensive play like that, when he reaches for the ball, that's the first part of a defensive play. The second move, he's got to get as far away from his man as possible right away.
Romano has come back into the ball game for Argentina. Into the game is Luis Oroño. He's number 14. As he had the ball, passed it off to Campana. Campana to the free throw line. Foul is going to be against McKee.
These are big defensive possessions for the U.S., I think, because they've come within one or they've tied, and they need to get it back so they can put some pressure on the Argentinians, forcing them to play a little bit behind. I think that's a real key to wind up the half.
2 fouls against McKee.
And they call that on the floor foul, not a shooting foul, so he can get the ball out of bounds and not the 2 free throws that the Argentines wanted.
Good double teaming inside against Maggi. Romano back to Maggi. And Argentina goes back in the lead by 2 at the 5:10 mark, first half.
The Argentinian guards are really giving our guards a lot of room to jam up on our inside game, and that's one reason why they're able to get back in so quickly when we do go inside with it.
A technical foul being called against the head coach of Argentina, Flor Melendez-Montalvez. There you see him. He was upset because McKee had gone through the lane, Bobby, and just shoved his defender out of the way, and no foul was called.
Now, the question is, did that technical hurt or help the Argentinians?
See, I never think that technicals even enter into it one way or the other. I've always felt that way. I think that getting a technical as a coach from a tactical standpoint is the most overrated thing there is in basketball. I think you get a technical because you're momentarily upset, not because you think it's going to influence things one way or the other. At least that's always been the way I've looked at it.
You've gotten momentarily upset a number of times.
A lot of times. In fact, I have stayed momentarily upset from time to time.
So Kerr is not able to capitalize on the two-shot technical. They'll also get the ball back out of bounds. Steve Kerr misses both of his free throws. He had only shot one free throw prior to his attempts there in the entire tournament. He was 1 for 1.
Well, he shot free throws like he wearing number 6.
Well, that certainly made the technical have no effect in the ball game, Bobby, with those shots. Chance for the United States team to tie. They trail by 2. That's McKee. Smith to Robinson. And Kerr tried to get it inside. They say it was last touched by Maggi.
The Argentinians have really worked hard on their defensive play for this game because as soon as the ball goes inside, the perimeter becomes a zone, and they drop back on the inside as a zone would, and as long as the ball's outside, it's all man-to-man.
Oh! Charles Smith had it momentarily. It's Argentina's ball. 4:25 left to play in the first half. Argentina has been basically in control of this game from the start. They led by as many as 6 points, 24-18. The U.S. led by 1, 14-13. They have tied it once before, and Maggi again inside, and he's having an outstanding effort.
Well, one of the things we talked about before the game is that the U.S. is going to have to control the inside. And so far, the Argentines have been able to control it. Offensively, they've got some good inside shots. And defensively, they've helped out and zoned the inside and been made the U.S. game ineffective inside pretty much.
Robinson, strong move to the basket. He'll go to the free throw line.
Robinson has not been as tough or as dominating nearly in this game thus far as he was against the Italians down in Malaga.
Well, he's been a project for Lute Olson. They really have put a lot of work and effort into this young man who had a lot of fundamental weaknesses coming into camp, and he really seemed to be turning it on against Italy. But as you pointed out, he still has not been able to get back-to-back games.
He's not played nearly as aggressively here, nor has he shown as much influence on the play inside as he did against Italy.
Kenny Smith back into the game for Steve Kerr, who goes to the bench. He's in the backcourt along with Amaker, as Bogues also sits on the bench. And so the front line will be Robinson, Charles Smith, and also McKee.
Now we'll
back
find
to the
out.
Same starting lineup.
Now we're going to find out if the U.S. pressure continues, how long it will take to wear the Argentines down, or if they can wear them down.
I think the Argentines have done a great job handling the pressure so far. I've been very much surprised at their ability to do so.
Romano with the ball, pressure by Kenny Smith. Good play by McKee, knocks it away. His superior speed gives him 2 as he takes it home. Good play by McKee.
Now they have to
stay with that.
Right, and they have to come back with another one right away.
They trail by 1, 31-30, 3:20 left. Kenny Smith on Romano. Hand on at that time by Kenny Smith again. That's Amaker on Romano now. Shot clock ticking down to 6. And Romano finishes it off.
Again, they're getting most of their points inside the paint.
They're being able to take the ball to the bucket. We're getting a lot more pressure on the ball being dribbled than we are on the people catching the ball.
Smith gets the member of the paratrooper club to join. He misses the shot, gets one more try. And it's pulled off by Maggi.
That was the wrong shot. He should have shot that off the board, I didn't think, from that position.
Smith against Romano. That's Iceperua outside. Has tried to pass it into Maggi. Knocked out of bounds by the American.
I think they call that a kick, so they get a full 30 seconds.
Yes, they did. Shot clock is reset to 30. Montalvez, the head coach, pacing the sideline. Amaker almost knocked it away. Finally, it's kicked around, but the Argentinians come back with it. That's Romano again. Robinson out to Smith. 3 against 2. Smith from 18.
Bad shot.
3 against 2. You should be able to get a better shot than that, Bobby.
Take it back to the middle where you've got a lot of opportunities to go right or left with it rather than limit yourself to what you can do with the ball on the wing.
I would say that they're going to give Lute Olson some gray hair, but that's already done.
Iceperua with the left hand. And it's back to a 5-point lead for Argentina. 1:45 remaining in the first half.
Bill, as you mentioned, we're not getting nearly the help against the driver defensively as we have to have.
Robinson was hammered on that play. No foul called, and now a foul called in the backcourt. That will be the 7th against the United States. Still not, the penalty of Steikley will come into the ball game, but the inconsistency of the officiating, because Robinson really got hammered on that last shot. No call.
Well, in the international game, they allow a lot more hitting than they do in, I think, in our game in the U.S.
I agree with that.
Timeout on the court by the United States. 1:36 left to play here in the first half. And a big surprise as Argentina leads the United States 35-30. Send Argentina to the free throw line with a chance to perhaps get their biggest lead of the game. It was 6 points at 24-18 with 10:45 left in the first half. Very ticky-tacky foul there after all the hammering on the other end of the basket.
Well, the United States has come very close to a half a dozen different steals out on the perimeter, and also inside the ball's been kicked around a lot. And there have been, I think, 4 baskets that Argentina has scored after the United States has either made a partial block or a deflection of a pass. So things have been going their way a little bit here.
And this could be the biggest lead of the game. And indeed it is. 37-30. 1 minute, 25 seconds left to play in the first half.
Well, 30 points is not a lot of points to get in the first half.
No, it's not.
Charles Smith.
And Argentina is giving up 79 points a game coming into this game.
So they were one of the weaker defensive teams coming into this game, but they've changed things around.
Romano. That's Smith on him. We're inside of a minute to play. And, of course, the clock ticking away now a 1/10 of a second.
The lob.
Wide inside. Tomisasso. Steikley got over to help out. The coach again off the bench. Montalvez is 3 against 2. And again, the United States comes away with a poor effort off a great opportunity.
It's the 3rd time on a 3-on-2 they haven't gotten it.
Big block by Charles Smith on that play as Maggi went up. Amaker. And that's the way to cut into it. Now it's a 3-point lead only for the Argentinians, as they had led by 7 just a little over 40 seconds ago. Final 24 seconds. 3-point try. Jump ball they're calling between Smith and Maggi. 17 seconds.
I thought that was a terrible shot to take. They're right even with the 30-second clock and could have gone down to 3 seconds and then taken a shot and gone off with a 3-point lead or a 5-point lead.
Bobby, there are a lot of times that shooters don't really give it a lot of thought.
And a tough break there as Amaker had the ball. Now they're calling an over and back violation against Argentina. I can't figure that one out, Bobby, because it sure looked like Amaker had the ball.
No, but I think he got a hand on it, Rick, before it got into the American front court, and I think that's why they called it.
So a chance for the United States team to cut into that lead, 37-34, final 8 seconds. Inside of 5. Smith, bad shot. And that will take care of things here in the first half. So the United States team having a difficult first half against Argentina. They had trailed by 7, but they have cut it now to a 3-point deficit, 37-34.
Cut him off, turn him. That's it, Kenny. Right there, right there. Recover now. Good. Recover, recover. Oh, Rolf, get yourself under control.
I enjoy the coaching a great deal. I don't know how anyone could be in a job where you could deal with young people all the time, like we deal with, and not feel good about it. We have. I like young people. I enjoy not only coaching them on the floor, but I enjoy the association that we have with the players.
He's a very good coach. I think people don't realize what a good coach he is. He's very thorough, a good teacher, and in 3 years he's won 20 games the last 2 years, so it's amazing what he's done with young players.
I've always been one who has felt that you need to try to do everything as well as you can do it. Maybe a perfectionist would be the term, and that's something I've always demanded from my players. I know that I'm not going to get perfection, but that doesn't mean that we're not going to continue striving for perfection. I think all of us in coaching would like to have the opportunity that I'm being given now to carry the flag of the country into this kind of competition. We'll rely a lot on the advice of Bobby Knight and Dean Smith and the other people that have been involved in international competition.
It may not be that the best 12 basketball players who are here will make this team, because it'll be Coach Olson's job to get the best 12 that make a team.
My experience is only one person's experience, so I want to be able to lean on the other people. After all, I look at this as not my team going there. It's our team. It's this country's team, and I need to call on whatever help I can get to make certain that we're successful. As far as other personal goals, I've always looked at it this way in coaching, that I'm going to try to get my team to play as hard as they can play, to play together and enjoy playing together, and play with an understanding and an intelligence about the game of basketball. If we can accomplish that, then I think we're successful, win or lose.
Just to refresh you on the format of this World Basketball Tournament, this is round 2. There are 12 teams divided into 2 divisions of 6. In each division, every team plays the other in a round robin. Then the top 2 teams from each division will go into the medal play in the final round to play for the gold and silver. Teams 5 and 6 would then play for the bronze. Obviously, every game important. It's a round robin. There will be standings to determine teams 1 through 6 going into the finals. Let's go back now to Oviedo. Rick Barry, Bill Russell, and Bob Knight, the U.S. trailing by 3.
Okay. And taking a look at the halftime statistics, the United States team trailing by 3 points, shooting only 45.8%. And 56% from the free throw line. That's well below their average during the course of this tournament. They're shooting 52 before this game. For Argentina, 50%, 13 for 26, 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Rebounds being led by Argentina. So the Argentinians, without any question, Bobby Knight, are playing the best game that they've played thus far in the tournament.
Well, and I think, Rick, they have really controlled the inside at both ends of the court. I think they've dropped back in on our inside game offensively. They've done an excellent job in pressuring it with the help from the guards, and I think they've taken the ball to the bucket very well against us at our defensive end.
Now, one thing about we like to talk about is inside scoring is that the Argentinians have 18 and 10 for the United States inside. They have controlled the inside part of the game. A lot of those coming off the 8 points on offensive rebounds.
And, Rick, I think in spite of the full-court pressure, the Argentines have maintained control of the tempo of the game also.
They've only turned the ball over 7 times. The U.S. team 6 times.
Well, you know, the one thing that will make the difference here now, I felt that the United States came within an inch about 10 or 12 different times of coming up with a steal and a bucket. And if they can just get that little bit extra now defensively, again, I still think they could take this game and put it away.
Let's see who they're coming up with starting. It'll be Robinson, McKee, Smith, Amaker, and Kenny Smith. So a same starting lineup for head coach Lute Olson. Montenegro jumping center. Kamisasa is in the game along with Magic. Romano. Cortijo. 3-point try counted for Kenny Smith, and right away we are tied at 37. So Kenny Smith now with 9 in the ball game.
The United States really needs to come up with a couple of good defensive possessions here in a row.
Amaker again with one of those just misses that you talked about, Bobby, as Cortijo gets the basket.
And they always come up with the basket when they just missed.
You're absolutely right. I think that's the 6th time they've scored.
That's 7 now for Cortijo. Argentina leads by 2. Good defense by the Argentinians. Kamisasa on McKee. And the rebound by Maggi.
And the U.S. is getting 1 shot.
Kamisasa to Romano.
Our guards have got to move a little bit when they make that feed inside. They're just feeding the ball and then standing, allowing the defensive man to jump back on the post man rather than making a move to one side or the other and get a return for an open shot.
That's Montenegro. He gets it back to Cortillo. Shot clock is at 5. Inside is Kamisasa. The block, David Robinson. Argentina's ball. 18:40 left to play in this ball game. There was a 3-point lead at the half for Argentina. 37-34. It's now 39-37. From the outside, no good by Romano, and Robinson controls for the United States. Kenny Smith. And he was fouled, and he was lucky because he got bailed out. He had thrown that ball away, but Romano called for the foul.
He really got bailed out.
That last shot, I thought, was one of the only poor shots the Argentinians have taken so far. Quick and ill-advised.
That one and that one at the end of the first half that you talked about.
Yep.
Charles Smith gets a couple of paratrooper members, and he converts it. Charles Smith now has 9 points, so he's the leading scorer for the Americans right now. He's tied with Kenny Smith.
Nice step.
Traveling.
Got called for it.
That's a miraculous call there, Russ.
Amaker. Strong move, Robinson. Robinson with 5. United States has taken the lead. That is now the biggest lead that they've enjoyed. 2 points, 41-39, coming at the 17:50 mark. Smith to Amaker, and that's what the U.S. needs. That's the type of ball that they have to play, Bobby. You talked about it. Timeout being called by Argentina. 17:44 left to play in this game. The United States with their biggest lead of the game. They lead by 4, 43-39. And this is the type of ball that we expected. 17:44 remaining in this game, and all of a sudden the American team is starting to put the pressure on Argentina. And this is what Bobby Knight and Bill Russell talked about in the first half, whether or not Argentina could sustain, and perhaps this may be the breaking point. We'll see.
But this time they really have to apply the pressure and really stick with it because you can't let them off the hook.
Maggi blocked. Maggi had a block by Robinson. Foul in the backcourt going to be called against Montenegro.
In the first half, Bill, that's where the Argentinians scored 3 or 4 baskets after blocks. And here excellent block, keep it in play, and Amaker goes after it and draws the foul.
And he went with the correct hand, Bill. His left hand, where he plays.
Which left-handed?
I know, which he plays with.
Right.
No, with his left.
Correct.
Charles Smith with the ball out to Amaker. That's Kenny Smith. He can't get the bounce. Knocked out of bounds, however, on the part of Aizpurua, who has come into the ball game.
Now, if the U.S. has come up with a couple of quick baskets and a good, strong defense, this is when they can really break it open.
I think so, too.
Because the guy that you might say in a boxing match, you would say that you got the other team groggy.
And they really need to get one here. This would be a big, big basket for them.
That's Amaker. As he tries to force it into Smith, knocked away on the part of Aizpurua into the hands of their lead player, Cortijo, and now it goes inside, and there's nothing there. 3-point try, counted on the part of Cortijo.
More than a 5-point difference.
At least, yep.
1-point lead for the United States, 16:35 left here in the ball game. So a golden opportunity slides by on the part of the U.S. team by virtue of the turnover the last time down the court. Robinson against Maggi. Smith, good penetration. Back to Charles.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
3 seconds.
Amaker really tried to force that pass on the possession before this one that the United States had, instead of just having a little bit of patience.
Cortijo. That's Amaker all over him. Romano. 3-pointer. Rebound, Charles Smith.
The United States is switching that inside exchange better this half than they did the first half. Charles Smith. And a tough roll. Robinson. Good strong move. Robinson keeps it alive. And Romano comes away with it. No foul. So Argentina refusing to break. They have been bending here in the second half, but they have not broken yet. On a strong drive to the basket, that was Perua. Foul going to be called against Kenny Smith. Here's the drive again. There's Kenny reaching in and hacking. Number 7 for the United States team. And into the ball game is Tyrone Bogue for Tommy Amaker. One of the interesting things that Argentina is doing defensively, I think, is having the perimeter players play with their hands up and waving their arms as though they're setting up in a zone when they really aren't. And then they move through or they move with the United States players on the perimeter until, as we mentioned in the first half, the ball goes inside. Then they move quickly to the ball.
So they give you a look of a zone when they're actually playing a man-to-man.
Perua ties the game and now gives Argentina a 1-point lead. Argentina led by 3 at the half. The U.S. came back to take a 4-point lead, and now Argentina has recaptured that lead. Three-pointer. Smith. Knocked out by Robinson. Kenny Smith again. To Charles Smith. And kept out by McKee. Bogue. United States team doing a better job on the offensive boards now, getting the ball back, but they can't capitalize on it. They did not score any offensive points off of rebounds in the first half. Score of the basket, David Robinson. And again, the United States team leading by 1.
You know, Argentina has moved better, I think, in this game to help defensively. On the pass, they're coming across from the opposite side to get pressure on the shooter or the postman when we punch the ball inside, better than any non-American team I've ever watched play.
I'm sure that Coach Montalvis would be happy to hear that coming from you, Bobby.
I don't know about that.
David Robinson, maybe it's a carryover from a previous regime.
Robinson having a difficult time at the free throw line, shooting only 41% prior to this ball game. And you can see the trouble he's had on that last free throw attempt. 14:40 left to play. United States 44, Argentina 41. Good block, Robinson. However, they're going to call the foul against Robinson. No, it's going to be against Charles Smith. Here, watch the play again with the body. Smith on the arm after the shot. Good call as far as the second foul was concerned. However, they let the shoulder dip go.
That's not a foul, Rick. That's control of your own airspace.
Here you see Steve Kerr, number 6 in the ball game for the United States. As Perua drops the free throw to tie it once again at 45. That's 5 points.
Perua, Rick, started out as a non-starter and played very well in the first couple of ball games, and then I think this is the 4th game in a row he started now.
1-point lead for Argentina. Bogue, terrific pass-off. The foul reaching in, and I believe it's going to be against Romano. No, they're calling it against number 11, which would be Cortijo.
Boy, Spud Webb would like to get him in the pivot.
That's right. Spud has 3 inches on it. 5'7" to 5'4". Inside of 14.5 minutes left to play. Kerr against Romano. Charles Smith. Robinson throws it away. And the Argentinian team continuing with their tough defense.
They've worked really hard defensively on every possession where we've had to set up on half court.
Well, Scott Thompson, the assistant coach, and of course Lute Olson, the head coach of this team, assistant at Arizona, said that Argentina will play you tough until about 8 minutes to go. We'll see if that holds true. There's just under 14 left to play right now in this game.
I think Art getting a little bit of a lead is going to be the key to how well Argentina holds on.
On the screen, Davis with the block on the shot by Cortijo. That's Smith with the block. He gives it back to Kerr, and the United States again recaptures the lead. 47-46. Kerr with 5 points in the game. From behind, Bogue trying to chase it down against Tomisasa. Too late. Tomisasa with 10. Argentina in the lead by 1. Robinson, another try. He's fouled. He'll go to the free throw line as the foul will go against Aizpurua.
Bill, when Argentina came back on the United States with that basket, do you feel that that's a bucket that Robinson has to stop no matter what? He either has to foul or block?
You cannot let him score. Make him shoot the free throw, but don't let him get anything inside. You got to make them, you got to take it away from him.
He just walked down the middle on that one. Nobody picked him up and challenged him.
And it was a 4-second turnaround. The United States had taken the lead, and now Argentina came back in 4 seconds and got it back. And I agree with Bill. That's what you just can't give them. You've got to do whatever it takes to take that basket away from them.
Robinson?
You know, when you learn, excuse me, Rick, when you learn how to play this game, when you learn how to win, there are times when you have to do things. You have to find a way to do things at this moment.
Well, Robinson picked a nice moment to make a couple of free throws, giving the U.S. the lead again at the 13:05 mark. Steps. Campana has come into the game for Argentina, number 5. From outside, that's Tomisasa, three-pointer, count it. And a 2-point lead for Argentina, 51-49. Three-pointer, Kerr. Charles Smith. No goaltending. 3 against 3. Tomisasa dribbled it out of bounds, it looked like. No call. Backcourt violation, they call. So a break for the United States with a chance to tie it or better at the 12:36 mark. Ron Cycli coming in for the United States. For Charles Smith also coming into the ball game is Sean Elliott. David, and let me see who's going out. Robinson is going out. So Charles Smith and Robinson going out. A smaller, quicker team right now. Perhaps a little more pressure on the part of the Americans, Bobby.
I think also maybe to give the inside players, Smith and Robinson, a little bit of a rest.
That's Tyrone Bogue. Kerr. McKee. And the rebound to Maggi. Campana. Pulled down by McKee.
Good throw.
12 minutes left to play in this ball game. It has been a most impressive performance on the part of Argentina. They have been in control most of the way. Had trailed by 4 early here in the second half, but now they lead by 2, 51-49. Shot clock down to 12, knocked out of bounds by Argentina. USA ball with 12 on the shot clock. Bogue. He's hit after the shot, the block by Maggi.
That's what you're supposed to do to a little guy anyway when he goes in there.
Argentina has been very, very alert coming from the weak side of the offense to the strong side to pick up drivers throughout the whole game.
New 30 seconds for the Americans. Elliott. Inside to McKee, and he can't get it to drop. Foul going to be called against Maggi. Diego Maggi with the foul. That's his third personal foul. Montenegro has 4 for them, and Romano has 4, as you see the play again. For the United States, the only player at foul difficulty is Kenny Smith with 3 personal fouls. 11:28 left to play. Argentina holding on to a slim 2-point advantage. They led by 3 at the half. It's been a nip-tuck game. The biggest lead was 7 by Argentina in the first half, 37-30.
Bobby, you know, when you're talking about the Argentinian team not finishing strong, I think that if they have a lead against this American team, they'll finish strong.
I do too. I agree completely with you. I was just thinking about that when I was looking at the score, 51-49. If this goes on down for another 5 minutes with the thing going about the same way, a point either way, I think they'll finish strong also.
Well, again, we'll watch for that 8-minute mark. Scott Thompson feels that the 8-minute mark is kind of like the Waterloo for Argentina. We'll see what happens. And that does not help the cause, missing the free throws.
We have not put the kind of pressure offensively on Argentina that we have to. We've missed some opportunities to score, and we've not really had the kind of movement that I think would take advantage of what they do defensively.
The U.S. team has been very erratic on their three-point shooting. They're only 2 of their last 11. Here's the pressure. 11:20 left to play. A 1-point lead for Argentina. Knocked away by Bowes, but the foul is called against Tyrone as he tried to take it away from Cortijo. 3 team fouls against the United States.
You were looking at the same thing I was, Rick. That one-on-one thing could get into play here very quickly, also in Argentina's favor.
Good ball movement on the part of Argentina. Maggi inside over Cycling. They lead by 3, 53-50. Elliott to McKee. Little jump hook. Cycling had it, got hammered, no foul. Cortijo. U.S. back very well defensively. Tomisasa. That's Romano. Padua to Tomisasa. 10 on the shot clock. Cycling with the foul.
Rick, he waved the shot with his right hand. And the hand to go at it. Now here he goes at it with his right hand. See?
Across his body.
He's got no chance with that. If he tried that left-handed.
He doesn't have the body contact.
Right.
There's no way you can keep your hip out of the way going at it with the wrong arm, is there?
No way. It's like you're making a situation that's physically impossible.
Well, Tomisasa helping the U.S. cause here by missing that first free throw. Argentina leading by 3. And what has to be, without question, I would think, Bobby, their finest effort so far in this 10th World Championship for men. 14 points for Tomisasa. He leads the way for Argentina. They lead by 4.
I think this combination that the U.S. team has out there as a team it will be very difficult to be effective. This combination of skills.
And I think scoring potential. I just don't think there's probably the kind of scoring potential on the floor there has to be on it at this stage of the game with it going like it is.
Well, it's Cycling turning the ball over for the United States. And we have played half of the second half. 10 minutes remaining in this game. Campana. Another foul call against the United States. This one is going to go against McKee. That will be the 3rd foul against McKee.
Now, when you're talking about what we're talking about, Bobby, you're not talking about are these guys good or not. You're talking about the matchup of the skills that you have to have out there to play this type of game at this time. Certain amount of firepower, certain amount of rebound, certain amount of speed to get the defensive pressure. This combination doesn't have all the things that's necessary at this time.
You see David Robinson, Cycling, and assistant coach Bobby Cremins looking on, but they made a switch by bringing Charles Smith back into the game, second leading scorer on the U.S. team.
I think one of the things that what you're saying centers around is role playing.
Right.
Each player goes into a role, and the roles are too identical out here and not enough variation.
Exactly.
Argentina leading by 6. 9:45 remaining in this game. The United States really being put to the test here. Foul spotted underneath the basket. Let's see who it goes against. I think it's Maggi.
Now, I will be very surprised.
That's 4 on Maggi.
If the Argentine team doesn't hang tough the rest of the way now. I think you've gone past the period where you can expect them.
I thought there were a couple of points, as I've mentioned, where the United States had a chance to break it away, and they just couldn't do it. I think they're going to have to close it here within a matter of a minute and a half or so, if that's ever to happen.
Sean Elliott is fouled. And Maggi is gone. 5 on Maggi. We'll watch the play again. That's Elliott with this move.
Yep, right on the arm right there.
Yeah, I think that was an excellent call. He was not completely vertical with his arms. He had his arms coming into the shooter.
Maggi leads with 11 points, but he was a real factor on the boards. He played a fine game.
And he did a great job defensively inside, both from the standpoint of post defense and help out defense.
Let's see who comes in for him. They're sending in Uranga.
Why, Bill, why were there some Spanish fans who disagreed with my thinking on that call?
I can't understand.
I know what it is, Bobby. So you're thinking in English and they're thinking in Spanish. And there's more to it than different language differences.
It kind of hurt my feelings a little bit.
Again, the Americans hurting themselves throw line.
Rick hates it when guys miss free throws, Bobby. He hates it.
Well, they trail by 6. It should be 4. And they've had quite a few other misses. 9:20 left to play.
That was a very big 2 points right there.
Good pressure. That's Campana. Portillo. The foul against Charles Smith. That should be his fourth, isn't it? That is number 3 against Charles Smith, I believe. Yes, third foul against Charles. That's only the 16th foul, and Argentina is in the penalty now. They have 8 already.
What Argentina's got to do here is get away from that pressure out on the floor and get the ball into the top of the key where they've got a 3-on-2 situation against the American double team.
With the left hand and the roll, Mike Perua. 8-point lead with 8:50 left to play. That's the biggest lead in the ball game for Argentina. And it's coming at a time when they're supposed to fold.
I think you forget about folding.
I think so. Let's see what the Americans are made of right now. Charles Smith fouled from behind by Tomisasa. And now an opportunity at the free throw line again for the United States, an area where they have been rather deficient.
Well, they've thrown up a couple of bricks, Rick.
They trail by 8. They have 8:28 left to play. You see the move again. Bobby, plenty of time left, but they're going to have to play a lot smarter right now.
One thing I'd like to see the United States do is change the guards. I'd like to see Amaker and Smith with some rest back in the ball game because I think they give us a little more quickness at both ends of the court.
And a little better shooting.
They're arguing about who goes to
in there for you.
They're arguing about who goes to the free throw line, and it was definitely Charles Smith who should be at the line. And they're trying to send somebody else. They're sending Tyrone Bose to the line. No, they're sending Sean Elliott to the line, and it was definitely Smith who made the move. So Sean Elliott getting some free throws that he had just missed a couple. He's only shooting, well, he's shooting 73 before the game. Now that's 3 in a row.
That was a lane violation.
So he still gets the opportunity on the lane violation. So 1-1 for Sean Elliott again, and that was the real bonus for the United States team.
Sometimes I really believe that the mistake that an official makes in terms of who's shooting the free throw is an honest mistake.
Smith, strong move, counted, he'll go to the line, and it turned out better.
Not necessarily. You got to make those free throws.
There you see,
and
strong move. Over the back, he might have been called, but not in international rules, and there's the muscle into the basket.
If he made one of those free throws and then got that, that would have been 3 points. That's the difference. But you have first in it, and I was not a good free throw shooter, Rick, and I know that, but I still know that you got to make those, that first have that free throw.
That's 5 straight that we've missed
now. A disaster at the free throw line for the United States. They trail by 6, 8 minutes and 15 seconds left to play. And if they should not be able to come back, they're going to be thinking about those free throws for quite a while.
Argentina will have good patience here.
That's Ice Perua. Portillo. Tomisasa. Foul against Robinson, who has just re-entered the ball game.
Bill, when you were coaching, Rick was a great free throw shooter and obviously has a hang up with kids missing free throws. And I think that we all have that in coaching. But when you were coaching, did anything ever bother you more than a guy making a foul on what was really a bad shot being taken by the offense?
Yeah, that's the one thing a defensive coach, if he's thinking defensively, that can drive you crazy because you got to make them earn whatever they get. They're going to make something, but you make them earn it. Don't give them any gifts.
Well, here was a very tough shot being taken, and we just mentioned the patience that Argentina would have, and they broke that patience a little bit and took kind of a hurried shot on the move, but we turned it into an opportunity for a 2-point play here rather than our possession.
And look at the free throw percentage right now in this game. Well, that'll change it. 85.7 before that free throw attempt by Argentina to 46.2 for the United States. That, Bob, I don't care what anybody can say. That is just disaster. That's horrible shooting.
Rick, one thing, I think a great point was made by Bill when he said that it wasn't necessarily better that we ended up with a basket, because if those free throws could have been made, that would have broken that string of misses and maybe given players a little more confidence going to the line for the United States.
Amaker and Smith are going to be coming in on the next opportunity for the U.S. team, trailing by 7. Kerr with a bad shot. Robinson had it. He loses the handle. And Kerr with good hustle. But Argentina comes away with it. 4 against 2. Oh, ice for the line. A 9-point lead. The biggest lead of the ball game right now for Argentina. Inside to Charles Smith. 13 points for Smith. 7:10 left to play in the ball game. The United States trailing by 7. Their toughest challenge thus far in these championships. And there's a terrible pass. 4 against 2 for the United States. Charles Smith again from Tyrone Bogues. And all of a sudden it's a 5-point lead for Argentina. Just inside 7 minutes to play. Good play on the drive. Ice Perua again.
That's what you do with a press. When you beat it, you go all the way to the hoop.
Portillo with the fine pass.
Argentina is really not paying much attention to Bogues outside here. Cortillo is dropping back inside and taking away some passing lanes and going back in very quickly when a pass is made.
Robinson. Tough roll. Campana with the rebound. And we have not had a dead ball, so still waiting. Amaker and Kenny Smith on the sidelines for the United States team. Coming up on 6 minutes to play. Lute Olson up off the bench. Tommy Sasa. He has 17 points.
That basket could spell disaster.
Yes, it very well could.
9-point lead now.
It's going to take a real turnaround.
Biggest lead of the game. Bogues to McKee. 3 seconds are going to call no basket. The United States finding a lot of ways to beat themselves. A concerned coaching staff. Bobby Knight and Bill Russell. A 9-point lead on the part of Argentina. If the U.S. should fail to come back, they will not be eliminated from gold medal contention, because this is a round-robin tournament and it counts on your point total. Later on, you'll have some action from Barcelona with Mel Proctor and Mike Fratello. Right now, the U.S. trying to get back in it. Good cut basket. Tommy Sasa. Foul against Amaker. Bobby, it does not look good.
Well, what I think our biggest problem has been here in this half has been the fact that our inside people have reacted very poorly to cuts. They've not taken cuts away. They've not moved with the basketball. I think they've been very, very unalert in their defensive play.
Tommy Sasa with 19 points, a chance to give the Argentinian team their biggest lead of the game. Well, they still have it with leading by 11, 67-56, 5:15 to play. Amaker. Taken away.
In those conditions.
Montenegro with the rebound.
When you're behind trying to catch up, you go down, you get a good shot every time and play hard-nosed defense.
I think you've got to get a layup on the break if you're going to break when you're down like this, or as you say, you just work to get what you can get after that, trying to draw the foul along with it.
Because the clock is your enemy, but it can be your friend. You got plenty of time to take your time and make sure you get a good shot.
Inside, the shot blocked by McKee.
But they came out of the ball.
New 30 seconds for Argentina. 4:35 left to play. 11-point lead. Tommy Sasa loses the handle.
Good pass would have been a basket there.
Right. It's a good outlet, which they didn't.
Kenny Smith. 9-point lead for Argentina. 4:25 to play. Still time. But they have
got time to do everything.
Well, the U.S. needs 3 great defensive possessions right here.
It's going to be Argentina's ball on the sideline as Romano comes into the game for Campana. It's been quite a story here from the Oviedo Sports Palace. Argentina playing their best game of the tournament thus far, leading most of the way. They did trail by 4 with 17:44 left in this game after leading by 3 at the half. But since that time, it has been all Argentina. Shot clock is to 3. Three-pointer by Romano. Count it.
We mentioned early in the broadcast that Romano was their best three-point shooter and that he was a very streaky shooter.
Amaker misses. Argentina with the rebound. That's Portillo. 3:45 left.
One thing we should point out here is that in international rules, you don't have the 5-second count that we've had in United States basketball, at least in college basketball, until this coming year. So he can dribble the ball out there.
Comisasa off of Argentina as Robinson hits the deck. Robinson and Comisasa having a little go at it underneath their own basket. The officials run down to make sure things are broken up. Just a little shoving, nothing serious. The United States could have used a little more of that aggressiveness early in this game, Bobby.
Yeah, I think you're right, Rick, particularly from the standpoint of inside play.
A small team, the Argentinians inside, and they have really controlled the inside play of this game. That's quite surprising and disappointing.
I'll tell you this, though, Rick. The reason they were able to control the inside was basically because of the guard play.
That was
because the guards didn't create enough problem for them so they could drop up and play the inside.
It's been an awful lot of 5 against 3 from their standpoint defensively.
Right.
Charles Smith scored for the United States to cut it to a 10-point deficit. 2:50 left to play. And with the United States not being an outstanding three-point shooting team, they may have a difficult time getting back in with 2 at a time. Kenny Smith, the best one so far in the tournament. He's on Romano. Romano from 15. Amaker. America's ball. Kenny Smith off balance. Tipped in by Robinson. Robinson again. And it's an 8-point lead. 2:24 left. Robinson has 11. Still time.
Argentina's not going to shoot the ball, and the United States has really got to go with an all-out trap game here. They can't really sit back and wait for a mistake.
There's the double.
Smith is hurt.
Kenny Smith is down. We don't know what happened. 3 seconds call, a turnover. Kenny Smith down, grabbing onto his right shin or ankle. We have 2:01 left to play. The United States is trailing 70-62. We've come back. You're looking at Steve Kerr, who just picked up the foul. He came in for Kenny Smith, who had hurt his left ankle. He was walking around, limping a bit. He's on the bench right now. And that is called an intentional foul on the part of Kerr. And so that will give the free throw opportunities to Romano and also possession of the ball for Argentina. They lead 70-62, make it 71-62, 144. Bobby, I think the United States is history here.
No, I think so, too. I just don't think there's enough opportunity for them to come back because Argentina has showed too much ability, at least in this game today, to handle the ball against pressure.
Bobby, would you say that the Argentinians don't normally play this way?
I would not think so, Bill. I think they've played much better than they normally have.
Then they came in with a game plan of how to play this game and executed very well.
I think excellent.
Padua inside. Robinson with the rebound. The fans won a goaltending as Robinson stuck his hand up through the net. Amaker, the Kerr, three-pointer. Count it. 72, 65, 125 left. Portillo. They only need to hold the ball. Good ball movement. Shot clock down now to 10 seconds. 1:04 left to play. And the foul being called against Amaker.
With 8 seconds to go, is the foul he should have made with 28 seconds to go.
That's what we were talking about a little while ago on the being able to think where the situation is. 7 seconds to go on the shot clock is not the time to commit a foul out on the perimeter.
Got a timeout called on the floor. 1:01 left to play in this ball game, and the United States on the verge of defeat. They are trailing Argentina 72-65. To play. Argentina electing to take the ball out of bounds, should have run down the clock. Bobby, how much effect do you think winning against this team by 15 rather easily, as we get a nice play by Charles Smith to Robinson and the foul? How much effect do you think that easy win 2 weeks ago in Lyon had on the American team?
I think that, plus the fact that the United States came back and played very, very well against Italy, Rick, in their last ball game. I don't think that they've come into this game as locked into playing well as they did in the Italian game.
You know, Bobby, I think that when you get into trying to win a championship, when you have a game that you don't have very much incentive to go out and be tough, you might create an artificial one. For example, say, let's beat these guys by 25.
Well, excuse me, Bill. We'll be back. 50 seconds left. And take a look at that field goal shooting percentage, 35.7 for the U.S. That's well below their 52% average for the tournament.
A lot of that is shot selection, though, too, I think.
And, Rick, what I was going to finish that point by saying, you try to win by 25 because in the case of a tiebreaker, points scored and points scored against become an important factor in an international tournament.
It was called an intentional foul, so Robinson misses the free throws. The United States gets the ball. That could have been very interesting had he made those to make it 72-67 in possession of the ball, Bobby. The free throws that killed them.
Could have been a 4-point play, and then they needed to get the ball back, and now they've got a chance to win it or go into overtime.
United States just has not played one of their better ball games, and that's a big disappointment after the fine performance against Italy. Three-pointer counted for Kerr, and the free throws become even more important right now as it's a 4-point deficit. Just under 40 seconds to play. Colcorn pressure, bad pass. A chance for the U.S. Kerr inside to Robinson. He's fouled. He'll go to the line with 30 seconds left, and those free throws are going to be a nightmare for Lou Olson and this team if they don't pull this one out.
Well, they've still got an opportunity here, but it's going to really be key that he makes these 2 free throws, because that gives them a chance to work a little bit without fouling Argentina. I think it's important that they don't foul Argentina within the first 15 seconds of their possession here.
You saw that foul committed. Now Robinson the line. He just got done missing 2 free throws. He is 3 for 7 so far in this ball game from the free throw line.
I got to give them credit. They have not given up.
No, you have to credit them with that. Lute Olson shouting out his instructions.
And when things aren't going real well for them either.
Right.
They've missed a lot of shots, and as we pointed out earlier, they've come within an eyelash of making so many defensive plays that resulted in baskets for Argentina, but they really have hung in there.
Well, now they're within 1 3-point field goal of tying this game. We have 30 and 1/10 seconds left to play.
I think the key here again becomes not fouling Argentina to start this possession.
The pressure on Argentina by the U.S. 25 seconds. You see the game clock, top of your screen on the right. They need not shoot it.
Now they're going to have to foul.
Foul against Kenny Smith.
Now they're going to take it out of bounds instead of shooting it.
Out of bounds, they're choosing to take the ball, so you pressure right now. Not always easy to get it in.
But that was their best move, because the inbounds pass is sometimes the hardest pass to complete. They've got to foul again right away.
And that was Kerr with the foul. 8 seconds left. They'll take it out of bounds again. Still time if they can come up with the steal. Trailing by 2, 72-70. Argentina started to fold, but they started too late, Bobby.
Well, I think what they've got to do, the United States, is foul on the inbounds pass. Right now, he's got to foul. They don't have time now.